Yo, 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 what's going on? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever you are watching this video, now that we on the tubes of you, it's your boy Big Moves Time is here, and the Big Moves Time is show. Let's get it. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all so much. So, y'all got a special guest in the building today. I got OG Timus in the building today. What's going on, Dad? How's it going?
Hey, it's going pretty well. You know, that's how we greet in Boomerland, in late Boomerland.
Got you. So, yeah, this episode is gonna be, this is Washington versus Giants, aka the Suck Bowl. Yeah, we were just here actually 2 years ago.
Yeah.
For the Chase Young Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were there
We've
for the
been
Chase.
to a few of them.
Yeah, not 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was Washington versus Giants to see who was going to get Chase Young, and I believe y'all ended up winning, so we got Chase Young. Yeah, there we go. So we got number 2 pick.
I think it was 35-10 that game.
Maybe I don't know. I got.
Yeah. Did we see Chris there?
No, I did not. No, I was not there for the
game. Chris Jenkins.
No, like I said, I wasn't there that game. I wasn't there that game. So yeah. But no. So what's going on with Joe Judge and the Giants right now, man? How you feeling about your team?
Well, to quote Bartholomew Simpson, he said, "I didn't think something could both suck and blow at the same time." but that's the Giants. You know, as you and I were discussing earlier, there's old expression that sometimes you have a war with no good guys. Well, this is a war with no good guys, but in a different meaning.
Gotcha.
In other words, there's nothing good on either team.
Gotcha.
I think that both of us have inept ownership. I believe that neither one of us have good general managers. And I think neither one of us has an effective quarterback. I'm sorry, an effective offense. That's obvious.
Okay.
So this is going to be a game more of not who's the better team, but which team sucks less on that particular day.
Gotcha.
And by the way, it's both teams that don't look good on our salary caps the next season.
Well, we actually look pretty good. I believe we got the third most salary cap coming up. So we got money to blow.
I was just looking at over the cap a little while ago because I was looking to see at the Giants, because the Giants are not in good condition.
Yeah, I know.
They are not. I mean, not in good condition.
I think I actually still might owe Odell a little bit of money still too. I got to look at that one.
I wouldn't be surprised. And also we might not Nate Sod is off the books as of the end of this year. But still, we do have some money. But the thing is that we have some, to quote Dion, we've got some pretty big business decisions to make. What are we going to do with Saquon? What are we going to do with Daniel Jones? And that's pretty big. Also, this is
we number 4 with 61.
You're number 4 with 61. Okay,
yeah.
So you guys are in pretty good. You're in pretty good condition. And I know that you guys are in better condition than the Giants. So when I look at that, it makes me very nervous, because when I'm looking out on the field, first of all, a lot of people talking about how Dave Gettleman's going to be gone after the season. I don't hear anything from anybody about it. I didn't hear any refutations from Giants ownership, nor did I hear anything from Gettleman stating, "Hey, things are okay," or "I know that I am." So I'm thinking that yeah, it's pretty much a done deal. But A, who are you going to get? And B, who's he inheriting?
They just came out with a video, I want to say yesterday, when this comes out, to be the day before yesterday, actually, with the Mayer family assuring that Joe Judge is there to stay.
Yes, exactly. Joe Judge is there to stay.
No, you right. Like I said, like very similar to us. There's no talks about anybody leaving right now. In terms of Rivera, Del Rio, or Turner. I'll see what happens in the off season. Honestly, especially for us. What I really want to see out of us in this game, I'm gonna talk about this game right now, is I really just want to see us just put a complete game plan together and stick to it for 2 weeks in a row. Last week at the Eagles game, we actually did stick to our game plan for like one solid drive. It was like one solid drive that we started with, and then Turner got skittish, and it just wasn't a well put together game plan, and it showed in the execution of it. Again, and I do put it mostly on Heinicke, just being the solid number 2 that he is.
Yes, and what happened to Heinicke is because I remember you were a bit more optimistic about him previously, and
I still am. I do think he just doesn't have. I think Belichick can make Heinicke go to the Super Bowl. I think if you give Heinicke to, I'm gonna say, I think if you give Heinicke over to a McVay, I think he can get him to go to the playoffs annually. I just don't think we have the talented staff enough to do that. I don't think there's a I don't think Heinicke is that much of a scrub that you can't get to the playoffs.
I understand, and I think one of the issues with Rivera is an issue I think that Judge has too, is that in my opinion they're still very defensive minded coaches in a very offensive minded league.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really, and I think that's hurt your team a lot. But and the reason why I say that is because from what I see with the Washington football team's staff, I'm sorry, not staff, but players, I think that you have some very talented players. And I don't just mean at the skill level, but these are not, when you look at the offense, these are not guys who take plays off. And there's a lot of that, and there's a lot of that in there. As a matter of fact, there was one time, and I think I might have spoken with you about this previously, with your left guard. He was drafted by the Giants. What's his name?
Ereck Flowers.
Yeah, Ereck Flowers, who they should always run behind. And I think that's one of the problems. Ereck Flowers is really good to run behind. If you take a look at it, he very rarely gets blown by on his gap assignment when he's pushing. He can be beat when he's coming up because Dallas beat him, but they didn't give him stuff, and they were asking him to go backward, and he does not go backward well.
Yeah,
and which is one of the reasons why he wasn't a left tackle. Left tackles have to go backward. Guards don't always have to go backward. A lot of times, actually asking your guards run. I think that he was really good, and what he was also very good at. One of the things that I saw is that he never got beat on stunts. And if you take a look back at it, so I think that that's something really good to see. And this is with Dallas. He caught every stunt, and Dallas has they have really good front four. So I really think that you guys have some really good players, and once they start playing football, they do well. What happens is that, in my opinion, their coaching gets them put into the wrong places at the beginning of the play, and I don't know how much you can do with that. But the reason why I believe it's that is because when you look at Heinicke, Heinicke doesn't get sacked. He didn't get sacked much 5 seconds outside of the ball. He often got sacked in that 3 seconds, which means somebody got beat on the initial rush. And so when you see that he can go around, or guys get around him, or he gets enough time so he can then throw the ball away, that means one of two things. Either he's a super duper athlete, and for the NFL, I don't think he's a super duper athlete. Amongst the civilians he is, but in the NFL, I don't think he's he's not Josh Allen. But he's able to scramble enough, and also he has enough mobile blocking to get him there, which means that these guys have the capacity. So that means, once again, it comes down to scheming. And that's what you have to look at, because the reason why I say that is that I think and I know this may sound crazy, But the Washington football's team, even though you couldn't tell it too much by the last game that they played, that Washington played, but the Washington football team, in my opinion, has a significantly better offensive line than the Giants.
I don't think anybody gonna argue with that. I think the Giants are arguably the worst team,
Yep.
possibly in the NFC. To be honest, definitely in the NFC East. What I do want to say though is, again, with this revisionist history that we have going on here, let me pull this up because people act like they don't know. I saw a lot of people capping on the Giants, really trying to call them bad. And don't get me wrong, I think the Giants have been bad, but people are like, the Giants been bad for a whole decade and then something. I'm like, I can't say that. Like, let me check on this.
Well, the thing is that after Daniel Jones, I think, helped this case by getting injured.
Yeah,
because it's been a freaking clown show.
It's been 10 years since the last Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I know people say they've been worse than the last 10 years. That just simply is not true. They won a Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl.
But especially this year, the first half of the year, they didn't get blown out. They lost, they were wizards at losing by 3 points at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one thing or another. But what happened is that after DJ got hurt and the center got hurt, the wheels just came off.
I think the wheels are coming off with Daniel Jones. I mean, especially I really want to say that Cowboys game, they played close somehow and they couldn't get it together to win. And that's when I'm like, that's when I say the wheels are coming off. I'm like, hey, like, y'all can't even do it right when you're doing right.
Yeah, you can't win that humble because every team has a humble. With Tampa pulling it out, that was a humble that was given to them. So that's the type of game that the Giants had against Dallas. In other words, they had everything there to beat them.
Like for Dallas game, I believe one of them ended 21-6, and like 21-6, that's 3 scores. That's not a lot of scoring in an NFL game. So the defense was doing everything it could do. They just couldn't, like I said, they couldn't win the game. They didn't have the offensive power to win the game. I don't think Dallas has that good of a defense. I'm gonna say it now. I don't know why. Again, revisionist history, man. That's gonna be the top. That's gonna be the name of the show at the end of the day.
No, I think Dallas's defensive front is good.
Nah, I think they playing a lot of trash quarterbacks. They had the easiest schedule, and no one want to bring that into fruition. They had the easiest schedule. When we had the easiest schedule going against backup quarterbacks, we were winning. Yeah. That's what you should do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what you should do. When they play competition, when they play Brady, we saw what happened. When they play Green Bay, we saw what happened. Like, hold on. Let's just pull this up at this point. Let's just pull up the Cowboys. Let's pull up the Cowboys record. And let's really go down to 6. Because again, I don't believe that the Cowboys really are that good. I do think the Cowboys. I do think the Cowboys are going to, depending who they get in the first round, and that's why they're like really trying to figure out what their placement is, because they know they really can't make.
Because I think Zeke was a bust this year.
It was hard. It was hard for Zeke. Okay, let's go down this list, right? So the first game they come, lose to the Bucks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, let's see the next competition they played. They beat the Patriots. I'll give them that. They lost to the Broncos. Sorry, team.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Raiders. Again, these are all contending teams we're talking about. And then they lost to the Cardinals. Those were the only teams that they played that really had anything going for.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I misspoke about Green Bay. I didn't mean the Cardinals. They lost to the Cardinals with basically with a backup quarterback mixed with a starting quarterback because Murray wasn't that healthy. So when they're playing quality teams, they lose. So not even quality. When they're playing above average teams, they losing. When they're playing average to above average, they're losing. Everyone else who they played, of course, you're supposed to be like, Come on, like you gonna tell me like you're not supposed to beat Daniel Jones?
But what was the score for example, with Arizona? What was the score with that game? Because he had a good quarterback, but he was limited to the pocket.
Arizona 25-22.
Well, I don't. Well, then I have to kind of take issue with that because in this league, holding a team like Arizona under 24 points
And that was without a D Hop and
showing.
That was without D Hop, arguably top 5 receiver.
Yeah.
Excuse me, top 3 receiver in my opinion. Him and Devontae Adams, you want to go 1 or 2, and that was with Kyler Murray coming off an injury.
Yeah, but Dallas is, like I said, I think their front is good. It's look at their backfield. It's their backfield that's just woeful.
But yeah, like Trayvon Diggs, in my opinion, is again going against trash quarterbacks, making picks. Heineke again, that throw that Heineke made, wasn't some magical interception. He threw it inside the hash on on a fly route. Was just like why, like again, bad pass. So it's like, hey, look, congratulations for taking opportunities on bad passes. That's what you're supposed to do. He is doing his job. I don't think he's exceptional. I think he's doing his job.
Yeah. And also Dallas's defensive backfield is horrible. I mean, just god awful hands. I think they dropped something like 6 inches this year.
Yeah, no, I was like not good. So they're going against the Eagles. Let's see what happens with the Eagles. Again, with the Vikings, who had Kirk Cousins, a decent quarterback, only won by 4. They kind of blew the brakes off the Eagles one time. Let's see what happens again. That's why it's coming down to the wire on this one. But again, I just don't see it.
But the Eagles was a disorganized team that week, and also, they caught them on a humble. Everybody gets a humble game. And so that's what they got. Heck, even the Giants won one of their games on a humble. So it's just one of those things. But this, this team, this matchup this week reminds me of a line from another disappointment, the Game of Thrones. It was in, I think, the last season or next to last season.
Oh, you think the Game of Thrones disappointment?
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons were a disaster. They were a botched abortion.
Never watched it, so can't say.
And I don't blame you. Don't go watch it because it'll set you up. It'll set you up for failure.
Really?
So yes.
That's how I feel about Harry Potter. Actually, like I tell people, don't go watch it.
You didn't like the end of Harry Potter?
I don't like looking back at Harry Potter. I don't get it. Like, why are you beefing with a baby? That's weird.
Well, he's weird. You're right. It is.
Yeah, weird. Call CPS or whatever the wizard version of it. Like that ain't normal. Like, you got to think for a kid. You breaking up in schools, like nobody. Come on, that's weird.
But remember, he started off going after 2 because the prophecy could have applied.
Yeah, because he went to Neville.
Yeah,
messed up his parents.
Yeah,
had him in the loony house, and then he went over there. Like I said, he's chasing kids. I don't see a difference between him and R. Kelly. And I know Rowland's a little weird when it comes to that type of stuff. So I don't know what she be on.
And also Neville was hidden, and he tortured his parents to try to get to him, and he just couldn't get to him that way. So he said, "Well, at least I know where Harry is." So he went over, murked his parents just to get to him. And if he would have succeeded in killing Harry, he then wouldn't have rested until he killed Neville.
Yeah.
So
weird dude.
He jumped out the window early on.
Yo, I'm saying, man, anyone who's a fan of Harry Potter, bro, you gotta take a step back and look at that, bro. Like, dude was literally touching kids, man. I don't know. We can agree with this, man.
No, he didn't even want to touch. He didn't even want to touch kids. He was. I'd like to go politically correct. He was an involuntary abortionist.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really think Voldemort might have got off to the fact that people would die. I don't know, man. Weird dude. But like, I've never seen Game of Thrones.
But I'm sorry, but there was a scene where this old woman that ran one of the big houses was up against a eunuch who had a lot of power somehow, and so she said, "This is where and they said that there were some rumors that you know that they would get it in. And she said, "Well, what would happen when the decrepit meets the non-existent?"
Uh,
And that's kind of what this is. Lady Tyrell, yeah, and Varys. Everybody called him Lord Varys, but he actually didn't hold any land. You have to hold land in Westeros to be a lord, but whatever. But anyway, so it's just one of those things. Like I said, this is a game that I think is only marked by its ineptitude. I'm
yeah.
wondering, are they going to get like I'm wondering who are they going to get to announce? Two communications interns, from the local schools.
No, 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 no. They're gonna get Mark Sanchez and
Evan Hester.
yeah, it's gonna be like Mark Sanchez, Devin Hester doing this, like Jonathan Vilma and
Yeah.
somebody we never know. Here's the thing, like Vilma ain't got no problem with.
Yeah.
Sanchez was such a homer in the Eagles game, in the 1st Eagles game that we had. My God, I mean, here's the thing. I understand that we suck. Some fans, very optimistic, don't want to believe that we suck. And when the announcer talks about us like a sucky team, they get mad. I understand that we suck.
Yeah.
But the way that he was talking about the Eagles, I was like, yo, bro, like, yo, get a napkin. Like, yo, man, like, yo, you drooling. Like relax. Relax, man. Like, yo, we get it. Like, you don't like us, but it's like, yo, you can't pick a side, man. I'm here for you to be objective. If we are objectively bad, that's okay.
Yeah.
But like
save the booty snippet for the butt fumble.
That's what I'm saying. But the dude was just glorifying us the Eagle days. Like, bro, you was there for like a year. Like, relax.
Yeah.
Technically, actually played for both teams. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. This game right here is all about. Excuse me. It's just all about draft position.
Yes.
I think Washington's going to win this game just because you guys are on your third quarterback. Third quarterback, COVID brought in injury after another injury.
Yeah.
I think like didn't Sterling Shepard go down? So it's like I don't even want. It's hard because the game has to be played.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but I don't want Saquon to play in this game. I don't want McLaurin to play in this game. I don't want
Here's what'll happen. And I'm not saying this because I wish injury. I'm just saying, the Giants have had horrible luck with keeping players healthy recently. And I think it has something to do with that turf that they're playing on. Lot of hammy injuries, lot of knee injuries. But this would be the type of game where Saquon ends up, pulling a quad muscle, and McLaurin will hurt his shoulder in some way that's just nagging him, through the off season.
Yeah.
It'll be something like that, or he messes up his, he pulls his Achilles, or something crazy like that. And that's one of the things that's bothersome, because a lot of people don't know Saquon ran for over 100 yards last game. And what did it matter? And the only reason why I think that Saquon, that maybe he should play, the only reason why I think that is because it's part of his rehab. He has to go through the season, and I think the last game he was starting to show his form. Either that, or he just and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the dude's not a hustler, but they might have actually done as much as they could because they want him to finish off as strong, because we all know this is a contract off season. So they're going to want him to do.
Jeez.
Do what he.
So did. I'm looking at the line for the game.
It's horrible. Yes.
The line right now, they got us. They got Washington 6.5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that changed recently because it was the Giants 6.5, and I was like, "What?" I just didn't believe it. Speaking about that, something I want to reach back. I was speaking offline about this, and you were talking about the massive, just the enormous and rapid amount of advertising and how much commentary is now aimed solely at gambling as far as football is concerned.
Oh yeah, it's a cigarette ad to the 21st century.
Yes, yes, but I mean, but how rapidly it's overtook. I'm wondering how long it's going to be. But before Mariucci, has some casino tattooed across his forehead, or he's going to put, oh man, or is he going to come and take off his shirt and he's going to have DraftKings, arch across his stomach like Tupac had Thug Life.
Well, every correction is an overcorrection. So sports betting was so underground, put down for so long.
Yep.
That now that states are legalizing it and everything, it's gonna be like the marijuana boom of 2015, 2014, 2015. 2014, 2015, where we saw Colorado legalized, and then after that we saw Washington and Oregon, and then you're seeing weed ads everywhere, shipping and all that. Now we in 2021, we around 6-7 years out from the boom. In my opinion, it's starting to settle now. And like marijuana's not looked at the same now. It's not looked at as taboo. It's not really in your face as much as it was. If you want it, you can go get it. Like DC is legal. Like if you want it, you go get it. It's not really a huge thing. Like people ain't out here like, oh man, yeah, like we gotta go to DC for this. It's like, like if you into that, you into that. I just think with sports, it's weird because they didn't get to marijuana. Like they didn't take any marijuana ads out. But with sports betting came, they were like, yeah, that's it. Give me some of that. And the way it's marketed it's addictive in its marketing. Like I said, like it truly is a cigarette ad of the 21st century. It's addictive in its marketing. It is an addictive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything. Excuse me. I see very little of the warning signs. It's forced in the back end for 2 seconds. Like, yo, if you got an issue, call this number.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like the legal copy of those prescription drugs. May produce gas with an oily discharge.
Exactly. Exactly. And they're like, with that, they're like, yo, bet 1,000, get 1,000. Will Heineke throw 1 yard? If he throws 1 yard, they get $100. I'm like, yo, what are these clickbait sides, bro? Like, it's ridiculous.
But here's why, and I think this is something to stick a pin in and come back and revisit it later on. The reason why I think that it's here to stay, why it's going to stay being so big, is that what this does is that this now further commodifies. Good Lord, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, senior moment. This
all good.
This commodifies your oh Jesus and baby Jesus. Man, what's that when you have your teams? What teams? Yes, this further commodifies the fantasy teams because now you bet with your fantasy teams.
Yes, but with that, what I don't like to see is that this is being done. You're gonna let this go because you're getting all the revenue from this.
Mm-hmm.
But
and also,
where's the money going? But I said, like, that's more of a political talk. We're gonna get into that. We get into that some other time. But it's just so rampant in the NFL. I feel like it's starting to take away from the game. I mean, like FanDuel was all over FedEx Field. They put up a FanDuel sign before they fixed the stadium. Okay.
Because
up there in the Raptors, they got FanDuel right there. Whole gate fell off when I was at the game. Whole gate fell off, bro. Okay.
That FanDuel.
Yeah. FanDuel pristine though.
Yeah.
FanDuel pristine.
But I think that this helps. That this is a great segue to talk about what we both think is the main problem with both of our clubs, and that's how ownership manages.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's
because like you said, they put up that sign before they fixed that gate. And a lot of times it's those small things that seem to make more of a difference. And I think that when Mara, for the Giants had talked about, we better turn it around soon. It just reminded, it just sort of seemed like, the beta father who was issuing a weak should have been threat to his children,
Yeah, I got
or to his errant wife or whatever.
you.
And Snyder, in my opinion, from what we hear, Snyder was looking at everything but the team.
Yeah.
So I think that until that changes, I don't think we're going to necessarily have a lot of stuff here, because I don't think that Gettleman should have lasted as long as he did, and I think that Gettleman has done the same damage to the Giants on his way out that Jerry Reese did on his way out. Jerry Reese for the Washington Crew, he was the previous iteration of GM, and you guys ran into that too. Who was the GM before Allen?
Oh no. So right now we have Mayhew as a GM,
Mm-hmm.
and then before Mayhew was Allen, and then before Allen, I actually want to say it was. Ooh, I want to say
Was it the coach?
I want to say it was Joe Gibbs. Let me check. It might have been Joe Gibbs to
No, I think it might have been
Snyder.
Chucky's baby brother.
Oh no. Oh, was it Scott McClellan? Oh yeah. I think it was Scott McClellan.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then it was Bruce Allen. Yeah. So it was Scott McClellan.
Well,
yeah.
I got Scott spent a lot of money.
Yes, he
trying to
did.
save his job.
It worked. Only thing with Scott McClellan that happened, and the reason why he's out the NFL, couldn't stop drinking, like a true functioning alcoholic.
Oh, that didn't stop. Gary Williams coached Maryland basketball for a quarter century, being a drunk.
Yeah, but like he was like a drunk, and he had the skin of a drunkard. So it was like it's like you could just see his face was flushed sometimes. It just wasn't.
I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care about that. And I'm a drunk. I'm a recovered addict and alcoholic. I wouldn't care about that.
It showed. Okay, so here's where it went. It went. So we got Mayhew now, and then 2020 technically it was de facto was Ron Rivera. Before that it was Bruce Allen, and then it was Scott McClellan. Then it was Mike Shanahan was the GM during his
when he was coach. Okay.
Yeah, like when he was coach. And then for years it looks like it just went without one actually. Now I think back to it. Yeah, like I think Snyder might have been the GM for a couple of years.
No, he was. I think when he first came in, he was GM.
Like looking at it.
Or he was a de facto GM. He might have had a butt in the seat. But he was just like the GM of the Dallas Cowboys. You do what Jerry tells you to do. So
yeah, I think I want to look this up. I think Dan Snyder was a GM. Like that would make sense for a lot of things.
Answer a lot of questions. Because I think he was GM. I think he was the GM when they signed Hainsworth to that uncapped deal. I think it was him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because like we had presidents and everything, but I really think Snyder was trying to do some GM work or some Jerry type stuff. Just didn't work out.
No, because he's not. Snyder might be a football fan, but he's not a football guy. And you can criticize Jerry for a lot of things, but as much as it brings bile from my stomach to say it, Jerry is a very legitimate football guy. He loves the team. He loves the league. And he's a good businessman, and he's done a lot to improve the league.
I'm about to say Jerry has made the NFL what it is today. I'll give him that. If you look at the TV contracts of the 1990s, he was the one who made Monday Night Football what it is. He made the Sunday being what it is now.
He took over for Al Davis.
Deal. Yeah.
No, that's what happened. He took over for Al Davis because Al Davis really is the one who broke the NFL through and did a lot and did a tremendous amount. Did a tremendous amount for it.
He did it for the experience, for the game day experience. Al Davis made the free agent. He didn't make free agency. Al Davis made the game day experience and having the winning football culture and trying to get people and create super teams in the
Yes.
NFL. That was Al Davis. Jerry Jones took the product and he was the one who started doing the TV rights, getting in
Yep.
front of people's faces, trying to make
Mhm.
sure that Sunday was that day that you're gonna watch football.
Yep.
Both of those men in their own right, two legends in the game. Rest in peace to Al Davis. Pretty sure he would have loved this Vegas move. Um, uh,
Yes, 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 yes. Or the only reason why I think that he might not have is because he might have said, "Hey, this is looking too obvious."
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm
Davis
sorry,
never.
you there? You're locked up for a second on me.
Yeah, can you see me?
Yes, now I
Okay,
can.
all good. What you call it? Davis was always that guy to me who just seemed like he'll go when the money go. Kind of. He did seem. I'm not gonna say loyal to Oakland because they bounce around between Oakland and LA all the time.
Mhm.
Um, he just seemed like he knew how to get a dollar.
No, he was a Raider. He didn't care what was in front of Raider. He was a Raider.
Yeah, like
Yes.
he loved his team. He loved his organization. Wherever it was, he was gonna be there. He was gonna be
Yes.
there.
Well, Al Davis was and I'm not hope I'm not going too far off the reservation with this, but he was a Brooklyn hustler.
Uh-huh.
That's what he was. He was one of those hard scrabble Jewish kids, that grew up in the early to mid 20th century, in New York, and there was and everything was about your hustle. Nobody's going to give you anything. You got to go out there and get it, and you have to succeed, and that's why he said, "Just win, baby." And I think that's something that's missing from both of our clubs for different reasons. I think that the that John Mara, he's just too. I just think he's too stodgy. I really do. I think that is just too stodgy. He's still thinking that this is a 20th century game, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, it's showing. While I do understand that he wants his team to be this big high quote unquote character thing. I think that's a hard thing to do in the way that he wants to do it. And just say, all my guys, kind of have to be Boy Scouts. And the thing is that, if you were to bring this media back to the Boy Scouts back in the day, they wouldn't be Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
I think social media changed a lot of things, and I think that it's made football a different product, and I don't think that the Maras have evolved the ways that, for example, the Rooneys, who are the other old family, did. The Rooneys did a much better job at evolving Pittsburgh than Mara did evolving the Giants.
I think Pittsburgh is an old city and they got lucky with that. That's about it. No, I'm not gonna say lucky, but the demographic up there is an older way of thinking anyway. Like I can't. I mean, rest in peace to Mac Miller, but like other than that, like other than him and Wiz, Chevy Woods, that whole clique, I can't tell you much of what comes out of Pittsburgh. Like they just they're in their own world and people love the way things are run. I will say somebody who has embraced the 21st century mindset of the team. I think the Dolphins have done a good job with that. I don't know who the ownership is down there. I think Khan in Jacksonville is really trying to. Unfortunately, he just keeps coming up short, but he's trying to find a way to get the game interesting, to get his team interesting. They built that whole facility down there. They got the pool in the stadium and all that. The Jags mascot is the most fun mascot to me. He jumps off the top of the stadium like every game and like zip lines down. It's cool. Like that's cool. They're trying.
You just need to keep it up because
that's the thing. That's what I like about the Jags is that they just keep trying. They fail and they fail hard, but they keep trying. And then what happened? We had Saxonville and they went to the AFC Championship. Now, haven't been back since. Hasn't been nothing since then. But they were trying and they found minimum success. I'm not gonna say minimal. I'm not going to degrade their success. They were trying and they found a little bit of success and it was good. And now they're like, all right, man, we just got to create this again. And I understand him for trying again and again and again, and they keep trying. That's what I like about this squad. Now, what the issue is with, especially the Washington football team, is that they have stopped trying. Dan Snyder has been MIA. He signed over half the team to his wife in a BS co-ownership deal. She went off the deep end and started talking about some weird stuff, and now she's quiet. These people are just
What did she say?
like with the sexual assault allegations and all that, and then like just more and more started coming out about it. And she is a great media personality for her topics.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the charities, or when it comes to fundraising, things like that, I think she's great when she does that. But when it comes to when people want to get gully and grimy and start talking about the real stuff, she is poised. She has great poise. She has great composition. But in today's media cycle, people see right through that. People see right through that, and I think she gotta get retrained and coached and come back out. I think she's much better than Dan in front of the mic, though. She was 10 times better than Dan in front of the mic. But like even then, like I said, they still ate her up alive. Jason Wright is getting hit left and right. I don't think he knew how hard the DC market was, how much pain was in the DC market. I don't think he knew that, and he's coming to terms with that now. The botched abortion of the Taylor incident, with the porta potties, the leak in the sewer, and the storm drain at the Chargers game, the sprinklers going off, the gate falling, the name change debacle, like all that's just happening, and this guy just wanted to be a team president, and I know he just wanted to really say I could change this franchise and turn it around. I don't think he knew how much change needed to be done. I thought this guy think that he could come in, do a couple of things, like I said, like find a mascot, put some cool things in the stadium, and then upgrade from there. This isn't a long-term stop for him, and he's finding out that no, it's not like that at all here. And
because I've had better game day experiences at a Maryland game.
Yeah.
And it's not like Maryland is a top tier D1 team.
No, not at all.
And that's not, and that has not always been the case.
Yeah.
Because I'm just to let the audience know, you grew up here. I'm a transplant. So when I first came down here, I mean, it was very, very different. The first game that you and I went to was very different than the last game that you and I went to.
Absolutely. FedEx. Okay, so there's 2 NFL teams in the DMV, Baltimore area. FedEx Field has the 3rd best state. There's 2. It's only 2 teams here. Okay? All right. I give it to M&T Bank, and then I give it to
somewhere else.
Nah, I know it's not Bird Stadium anymore, but like Maryland Stadium, I think it's called now. And even then, like Maryland Stadium is very undersized for what it's supposed to be and all that. But getting in and out of Maryland Stadium is way better than going to FedEx, and the game day experience is way better.
Yes, it is. But that's really what I mean. It's kind of like the intangibles, because actually getting in wasn't necessarily that bad. You just have to walk a mile or pay.
That's ridiculous. So you walk a mile through a neighborhood.
Yes.
It's people having breakfast.
Yeah.
You have a Coronas, bro.
Yeah.
It's church ladies over there in cat heels.
Although just to let you know, you can make good money because you can use Parking Hero to rent out your spot.
Absolutely, you can. But like, no joke. I literally went to the McDonald's down. It's right past Bryce on 202 in Hyattsville. We went there to like the only liquor store that was open. I think it was called like Champagne Liquor. Shouts out to them, very helpful. I went to the McDonald's to get something to eat before the Eagles game, and like I said, I'm in a jersey. It's a woman in the all white, a deaconess getting her meal after service. Like it's just not a conducive place for an NFL game.
Or,
The only place it can go is the National Harbor.
yeah, you and I spoke about this, and I think that might be doable, but I think that but you're still looking at many of the same traffic issues that you would look at where you are,
That's okay. Here's the thing.
because you're still right off the Beltway.
That I'll wait 5 years to get with Halle Berry if I got to. Hey man, 5 years. You gotta do what you gotta do. I got that. All right.
I'm not too sure about that because 5 years, Halle Berry 60.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
maybe 5 years ago. But yeah.
10 years ago you waited 5 years.
There you go. She still look good now though. Like I said, it's 5 years from now. You know, hey man, we tossing up. You know, that's
the
like a
wall
draft
comes.
pick.
The wall
like
comes for all.
I got you. But like, there's certain things you just wait for. Like, I wait to get into a popular club. If Floyd Mayweather's fighting at the MGM, I know there's gonna be traffic. I understand that. That's the greatest fight ever. I got you. Cool. If the Washington football team is playing the Cowboys again and it means something, and you gotta go to National Harbor, I'll do that. Like I understand what's down there. I understand what the product's gonna be down there. I understand the fun that's down there. You got the sports betting. You got the bar down there. You got 24-hour access to all devices you want. And I can walk on the street to the stadium.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to be done. That's what needs to go down. Because when Beyonce comes to town, when U2 comes to town, when Bruce Springsteen comes to town, when Drake comes to town, and they want to sell out a stadium, that's an experience. People fly in for that. You right next to our national airport right there. You right next to National. You go into National. You take the bus direct that goes over the Truman Bridge right there that has its own bus lane. Then you get off right at National Harbor. Soon as you get off, throw your bag in the MGM. Have the dude take it upstairs. Go down, hit the table, put 20 on black. See what happens. You don't hit. All good. Grab a drink. All good. You drinking. It's June. It's warm outside. Sun's going down. You want to go. You want to see the nice skyline. You get up in the eye right there. The whole Ferris wheel. Boom. Great. Nice. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get to our seats at the stadium that's right there. And you walked everywhere in between here. You're not getting any more DUIs. You're severely lowering accidents. You're keeping people there so they're spending more money. And it's going back to the community as well that you so desperately say that you want to help.
Yeah.
How does this not help?
And then you go to the exclusive after party on the roof of the Gaylord.
There you go. Right there.
Yep.
All within one.
Yep. And then you meet up with your iGram or seeking arrangements chick.
There you go. Do what you got to do at that point. But like, it's ridiculous that like that's and again, I know it's not going to go there. I don't think they have no. I don't think they have the wherewithal to go.
And PG keeps the revenue.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't lead the county.
And build another stadium. Now here's the thing. What do you do then with FedEx?
You put it back there. There was nothing there before.
But now you put in all this infrastructure. You built a train station to there.
No, you didn't. You built a train station to the boulevard. That wasn't there.
That's true. That's true.
Like you try to walk from that train station to the game. It's hell. No one wants to do that.
Yeah, they use shuttle buses.
Exactly. Like, come on. It wasn't even good in the first place.
Yeah.
Like,
did we do that once?
No. It don't make sense for us from what we
No. We did the shuttle. No, we did the shuttle bus from parking because they had shuttle buses from parking.
Maybe like one time before, but I think they stopped that now. Like they don't allow that. They don't allow that.
Well, because they don't sell out. They don't sell that much parking. They don't they don't need to do that. Look where we parked before. We parked by the gym. That would have been sold out the last time.
No, it's hard. I mean, but like, who you selling out for?
Exactly.
Like, who's the face of your franchise?
No.
Heineke?
Now they sell out.
Chase Young, who's hurt.
Now they sell out for other teams. But now they sell out for other teams.
That's what I'm saying. There's no face to the franchise, which is very hard. Which is why I think, more than likely, we're probably going to win this game. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be an all-in on Kenny Pickett, even though that's not my first choice. But Like we said, he's going to get the nice shiny goal. Again, Pickens hasn't started enough for me. I talked about that on the podcast.
Yep.
Actually, I want to talk about that here as well. When it comes to a college quarterback, I just can't. I don't like the one and done guys. It's like the NBA guys almost, but it doesn't correlate. Like they could do it in the NBA, they could do it here, and it doesn't correlate. And when I say one and done, I mean these guys. Of course, in the NFL, you got to be like 2 years removed, 2 or 3 years. No, 2 years removed.
You have to be you have to have finished your junior year.
Yeah.
In other words, with the NFL, you just skip your senior year.
But with that, most guys aren't starting those first 2 years, and then they get 1 year, and then they ball out that 1 year, and then they get a deal. So, in my eyes, this is like a one and done. That they're not putting multiple seasons into work, or you're not seeing a full. You're not seeing a full artwork. You're just seeing a single, in my opinion.
No, and I agree with you. Because also, and this is really big. You don't see how they respond to the success. Because one of my big mistakes with the NFL is that I thought that Ben Roethlisberger was going to be much more like RG3 than he ended up being, like Tom Brady, for example. I'm not saying it's Tom Brady, but in other words, somebody did it. Because what would happen was that with a lot of these, especially quarterbacks, they're good the first time they see teams. Because the teams aren't used to them, they don't know what they can do, but then they get film on them. But now, 20 years later, it's a lot, it's a lot different. So you really want to see how do these skilled position players respond when somebody does good scouting on them. So what happens when all of a sudden you see that the guy knows that, all of a sudden, you turn around and then you do your one pump fake and they don't bite. Now what do you do? And that's what, in my opinion, that's what Heinicke is going through. But last week, the way that I saw him play, I just saw a guy that was I saw a really good athlete with a lot of drive show the limitations of his skill set.
My thing with Heinicke that I know some fans not going to agree with me on is that for his age, 28, 29 going to next year,
he'll be better decision making.
I'm not going to say, but he's never had a coach. Now, if he was so good in college and he comes to the NFL and he doesn't get a coach, he's always been a backup. Now that he's starting, he's getting starting coaching. For y'all don't think there's a difference, there's a huge difference. I'm not putting the effort into my third string quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm going to tell you to listen to what I'm saying to my first string. That's how that coaching works. I'm going to tell you to listen here to my first string. Do what he does. Exactly. Yeah. Do what he does. Try to follow him. Try to do this.
Yeah.
I'll give you 10, 15 minutes of practice to follow with the practice squad.
Yeah.
Work with them, but you're not getting these reps with these starters.
And you don't get three interns.
All right. Yeah, like I was saying. So
and you don't get three interns who go over, who break down your film and say, "Hey, when you're doing this, your wrist is staying locked. It's staying locked back for too long, or not long enough."
You're not in an organization that has the people that are doing that. You are in an organization that's turning over any and everything right now. They're trying to find an identity. You also are going against the hardest pass rush in terms of schedule in the NFL. No one has had a harder pass rush and pass defense to go up against than Heinicke this year.
Yeah, and it's not like Washington hasn't had the talent, because remember, you and I were going over the coaches that they've had over the past few years.
They've had the coaches. I do believe we have a lot of 12th man and a lot of backup trying to start for us. And then when they got hurt, we're now on the 15th, 16th, 17th man trying to start for us. And there is a reason why your starters are starters.
That's correct. And once again, I call it the Brian Scalabrine effect. Scalabrine, at 40 was murking everybody,
Uh-huh.
except in the NBA. And it's the same thing here in the NFL. These are still guys, who if you were to put them on Bama, they're
Uh-huh.
killing everybody. They're
Yeah.
killing everybody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You put them on Eastern Idaho State, um, Pomona campus, and
Uh-huh.
they go up against Alabama. He's
Uh-huh.
still balling out, getting double teamed against Alabama.
Gotcha. Yeah. Are you right?
But this is the NFL, and that half a step makes a big difference, because it's a difference between Micah Parsons trying to push you back when you weigh 70 pounds more than him,
Mm-hmm.
or him being on your outside shoulder and it's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And it does really matter, and it does really matter that much. Like for example, one of the reasons why I'm nervous about Daniel Jones's progression is because it's not like Andrew Thomas has been getting beat a lot this year. He hasn't. And he's gotten progressively better and better and better over the year, but it doesn't matter because everybody else is coming back at you. But my whole thing is that Daniel Jones, nor apparently the coaching staff, can guide him around it, or at least until Thomas got injured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry to go so dark, but I just see this as evidence of the decline of the league overall as a whole. The same way the Northeast built the league, Northeast and the Midwest, Ohio, built the league. I think that this is where the league is starting to fall.
I don't think it's starting to fall. I do think.
Oh no, their ratings is down, and I think this is one of the reasons why they embraced gambling so quickly and so thoroughly, is because this is replacing the missing eyes on the screen. The gambling can pay it because they have the profit margin to do so and the profit motives to do so.
I do think that whatchamacallit, I do think that they have successfully rebounded from last year and everything that happened last year. I think that now in the NFL, free agency is becoming the thing that actually is making the disparity in the league that it was supposed to. It's become the very thing that it was trying to be against.
Making super teams.
And not
somewhat super teams.
Somewhat super teams where I think that people know that they're gonna get paid anywhere, and with you being able with social media and everything, I can make some of my money off the field now. I don't need the biggest contract from you. Help me get the most money. There's a difference. So there are teams out there that can help you get more money without giving you the biggest deal. I.e., Brady was taking people was talking about Brady was taking pay cuts left and right. His advertisers deal were going through the roof.
Yes, that's correct.
You think a team's not going to help out with that?
That's correct. That's why his last contract with New England was that 5-year, $50 million total guaranteed. So no matter what happened, he got that.
Like you think like a Dak Prescott, he's in these Sleep Number commercials.
Yep.
After a knee injury, during the knee injury, still saw him on TV. These commercials. You don't think Jerry got anything to do with that?
Yep.
You don't think him and his agents talked to him and his team was like, "Yo, come on, let's figure out something here. How can we make this happen? What's going on?"
Yeah, and he doesn't want to tell you, but he's in the NFT game because I've seen some of his NFTs up. Like he sells his emoji.
I'm saying like our organizations just aren't doing that. Washington football team is just not approaching players in that creative mindset.
Why is Chase Young not all over the place?
He is and he isn't. The way that he is all over the place truly is through his agent. It's not through the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And there's a very big difference. Like I said, when you see the collaboration, you see how it goes. And no, it shouldn't be all over the place. He's a DN. I respect him and everything that he does. He's a great player. I can't wait to see him grow and become, I hope, to be the greatest DN of all time. That's just me being biased as a Washington fan. But no DN should be the star of your organization. They could be a star, but it shouldn't be the star. Your quarterback should be the star.
Well, LT was a bigger star than Phil Simms.
Absolutely. I'll give you that. But LT was the greatest as well in his position. I understand Phil Simms was a very decent quarterback. He's happened to have somebody who was better talented than him on the other side of the ball. But you want to say for don't get me wrong, like Aaron Donald, great. Great. But when I think about the Rams, I think about Jesus Christ, I just had a brain fart, man.
Matthew Stafford.
Gee, there you go. I don't know how I forgot Stafford's name. I was looking at his face.
No, that's
like,
okay.
Detroit guy. Yeah. I think of Matthew Stafford and then Aaron Donald. When I think of the Cowboys,
you don't think OBJ?
I don't know. I don't think about the receivers yet. I think I got great receivers too. Yeah. When I think about the Cowboys, I'm like, yo, was Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Mari Cool, and then I go to the other side of the ball. When I think about the Bucks, I'm like, yo, they got all this offensive talent, and their defense is good. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, yo, they got Shaq Barrett, everybody over there, but it's dope. Like, but for the Washington football team, we really try to build around the defense. And I'm like, that's not a way to have an identity. It's not people. That's not how. That's not the modern fan connects to a team anymore.
And also, that's not the league that we have. You know, you're much more likely. You're much more likely to win a game 42-35 than you are to win a game 21-14.
Yeah, like when I see shutouts now, I'm like, yo, like. It's hard to get a shutout.
We don't even call them shutouts anymore. What they call the NFL a shutout, what the NFL calls a shutout now is if there's no touchdowns. So they'll say because remember who was it that was pitching a shutout late into the game last week? I forgot who it was. It was the Monday night game. Whoever the Monday night game was. It was Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh defense was pitching a shutout.
Oh yeah. Shout out to TJ Watt.
Yeah. It was pitching the shutout. Yeah. You know, and that's another thing. You know, as a matter of fact, one of the things I want to speak to you about tonight is maybe one of the things that we could talk about, you know, even more. It's something something that you said, and you know, recently I've been talking about both to you and to your brother about how I'm starting to see the usual generation gap that happens between my generation and yours. And you know, a lot of people talk about how the game was different, and the game was different in many ways, but there are some really, you know, we are seeing some really singular performances in the league today. Like you said, like when you were talking about, you know, Aaron Donald, you know, or Shaq Barrett or TJ Watt. You're seeing these guys work, and these guys are doing these very impressive things. You know, TJ Watt, he tied Strahan's record. You know, in the same amount of games.
Oh, should be. I think he's about to. Remember, he's at 21 and a half.
Yeah, wasn't that Shanahan's record?
No. Strahan's 22. 22 and a half.
Okay. 22 and a half. Yeah, but he only played. He only played in what? This was his 14th game or whatever. So if he does break, he's breaking it in the same number of games.
And less, actually.
Yeah. So you know, but the thing is that he's had a longer time within the season to do so. So I think that those two things cancel each other out. But he's still doing it. You know, you also have the greatest quarterback to ever play the game playing, even though it is even though it is very much an offensive minded and passing league, but it's been that way. It's been tilting that way for the past 20 years, and it's solidly been that way over the past 10. And he's been the best at it for those times. So it's really, you know, so it's really interesting seeing a lot of things happen. You know, defenses have adapted, in my opinion, very well in many places, especially considering the fact that they treat, you know, my opinion, you know, they treat pass interference with receivers, you know, the same way, you know, feminists treat microaggressions from men. You know, we say what it is, and then we go back and and redefine the definition to fit. So I think that overall, although I don't agree with many of the changes of the game, this is still, I mean, just an incredible, and just an incredible game. I don't, I don't think that if you took the offensive lines, put this, I don't think the Hogs would stand much of a chance against many of these defensive lines today.
Game would be too fast.
Yep. And I know this is a problem, might come off as a hot take, and some people may hate it, but considering all of the DNs and linebackers, and linebackers are a bit smaller, they're 235 now, as opposed to being 245 or 250 like they used to be for many. But Carl Banks and LT, they were 235. 235, maybe LT was 240. Dexter Manley wasn't he wasn't that big of a guy either, and look at how well he did. So I just really think that it's a really different game. But with that, and with all of the technology that they have, the all 22, all the different camera angles, the speed at which they can break down plays, you no longer have to wait for the play to get faxed from the camera to the coordinators, and then get sent down with remarks down to the sideline and get put into notebooks. Seeing that, and the thing is that it doesn't matter what your team has. Every team has the same tools.
And if one side goes down, the whole thing goes down.
That's correct. Everybody take off your helmets. Everybody take off your headphones. And so with that, I think that it really does lay bare just how much difference there is in the personnel, and how, once again, it does come down to personnel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't coach a coach.
That's what I'm saying. And the thing is that when they talk about all the players being prima donnas, to be honest with you, I don't think there's anywhere near the prima donnaing in the NFL as there is in the NBA.
No. Absolutely.
I don't think.
But the NBA, you're dealing with all guaranteed contracts.
Yeah,
the first guaranteed contract to come out was 4 years ago, Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
He had like a 3
and
year.
Everybody was saying, "Oh my God, this is going to change everything." I ain't see it. I ain't see it. And remember, he was the second one. He was the second one because the first one was Brady.
What was Brady's contract?
Brady redid his contract. His last contract with New England, from what I remember, it was 5 years, $50 million, all guaranteed. And the signing bonus wasn't that big, but it was considered really good because what they said was that if Brady gives us 2 years out of that 5 years, we paid $25 million. Excuse me. At that point, I'm sorry. They paid $25 million a year, which was the high end for a quarterback, but you still had Tom freaking Brady. He had already won what, 5 Super Bowls at that point. So it just 6. So it was a 6, 5 or 6, 1 or 2. But yeah, so it just seemed like it was a real big thing, but most people aren't doing that. And to be honest with you, I would love to have I'd like to have Kirk Cousins' agent be my real estate agent.
Yeah,
because I could have gotten this house for for $25 in a case of beer. As a negotiator that dude must be.
I mean, Cousins was coming off a very hot season. Still don't know why we let him go, but we'll get to that later. But yeah. All right, so
I know why, because he's not in my opinion, he's not a Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, but then you got a guy who was Super Bowl quarterback again. It's like, all right. I said, but then you got another guy who wasn't Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, but you paid less for him. You're going to pay a lot.
Not.
Or you're going to pay a lot for somebody who's not a Super Bowl quarterback, or pay less. Now, I see what you're saying. But
no, like the contract literally was like very similar. That's one like we didn't play less. Yeah, and then Smith Street. And I said it just like they just couldn't Cousins came to them and was like, "Yo, I'll do this deal." I want to say Cousins, of course, it's the agency, but yeah, Cousins came to him and was like, "Yo, let's do this deal. Let's get this out the way."
Mm-hmm.
They said, "No, we're gonna tag you. See how it goes." Did it again and said, "Hey, let's do this deal." And then they tagged him a second time,
Yep.
and that's when Cousins was done.
Mm-hmm.
Cousins really was done with the situation. They tried to get him to sign. He was like, "I know I'm worth more than that now for y'all because the price of the breakdown went up for y'all." And then that's when the Vikings said, "Yo, I can pay you this." And he was like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna just go over there, man. I'm good. Thank y'all."
Yeah. And remember that Washington at one time had 2 franchise quarterbacks, in my opinion, RG3 and Kirk
Had
Cousins.
one.
I still think RG3 was going to be. If Shanahan didn't ruin him, I think that he would have been.
I don't think Shanahan ruined him. I think RG couldn't read the defense. I think RG3 was a fourth round talent that had a really good year at Baylor. Where's that Baylor program been since then?
Yeah,
exactly. It's not. Again, it was a great story, great flash in the pan. Military parents. He was an all-star in track, fastest quarterback ever seen. This, that, and the third. Yeah. So
he was Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson, but look at Lamar Jackson. Even though I do think that Lamar Jackson has progressed very well as a quarterback.
Lamar Jackson wins.
Yes, yeah, and that's what matters. Yep.
He wins. He's not loud. Lamar Jackson don't want to be in front of the camera. RG3 had the most endorsements out of any rookie quarterback before they took a snap ever. This man loved to be in front of the camera. He didn't love to try to learn how to read the defense, but he loved to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes in for our next quarterback. I need somebody who's put in that 3 years of starting, who truly loves to do what it takes to do to win. And win again. And then win again. Like someone who can come back the next year and be like, "Yo, let's do this and run it back again." And with these one and done quarterbacks, you never see that.
Yeah. And also I think that and also I think that too often the NFL guys want good press guys.
Here's the thing. If you're good, you ain't you're good, you ain't gotta be a good press guy.
But that's what I'm saying. They're looking for guys with good press guys.
Lamar Jackson's not a good press guy. I don't know if you ever heard that man speak.
No. Yeah.
They don't really like in front of the camera like that. Like, I'll be honest, like Baltimore straight up be like, "Yo, look, y'all got 3 questions. Go ahead."
Yeah. I'm just ready for him to say, "I'm the pappy."
Yeah. Like Lamar's Broward County all the way through. Shouts out to Florida. That's it.
Florida man plays Baltimore football.
Yeah, straight up. That's Lamar, man. That's Lamar. Like I said, shout out to Broward, bro. But yeah, that's him. But yeah, hopefully we'll get one. But yeah, we'll talk about this more in the future. Before we go there, what's your prediction for the game?
It's going to be a bad game.
Okay. What's your points?
Actually, I don't think it's going to be a big scoring affair. But I don't think it's going to be a close game either.
Okay.
I think it's going to be something like 17-6 Washington.
Okay. Yeah.
Although to be honest with you, if anybody can make Heineke look like look like Herbert.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anybody make Heineke look like because that's the full performance Heineke is Herbert. Or Josh Allen. If anybody can make him
full
look
performance,
that way,
Heineke is Russell Wilson. Heineke's small. Heineke is 5'11".
Yeah.
6 foot on a good day.
Yeah, exactly. Mid leap.
I think Herbert's like 6.
Yeah. No, Herbert's a big boy.
I think he's like 6'5". I think Josh Allen's like 6'6".
Yeah, 6'5". Like they say he's 230. I'm like, he was 230 when he walked into camp. He's more than 230.
Yeah, he definitely put on muscle.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I like about Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones is like 235, 240 now.
Oh, he can run. Like it's been proven.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's from some big runs on the Eagles, on us. Like dude can get the feet going, and people just like, huh? Yeah. Like you're looking at the people track him down. They are running. It's not Not a gimmick.
Yes.
Like they're running after him. Like,
Oh no,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
pulls away from him.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think people sleep. A lot of people sleep on that. He pulls away from him, but he's got to get his neck strong if he's going to lower it.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, but like I said, if there's anybody to make him look good, if
Uh-huh.
there's anybody to make that tight end, who's that backup tight end? That's
John Bates.
yes.
Uh-huh.
My hot take: John Bates gets more than 100 yards of receiving yards.
All right. My take for this game is Samis Reyes is our backup tight end. The slaying Chilean is going to get his first touchdown this week. I've been very high on him, as well as I do think Heineke is going to run one in for the day. I think this is finally where he's going to run one in for the season. We're going to be like, oh, there you go, man.
Well, there you go. This is your 14 out of your 17.
There you go.
This is your 14 out of your 17. And I think that Heineke is going to overthrow a bunch of people. There's going to be drop passes and there's going to be dropped interceptions.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
I really feel like Judge has lost the locker room. I really fuck with all the comments he made. I really feel like the players just like, yo, shut up, man. Like I got Turks and Caicos planned out already, man. We just trying to get to it. Let's go.
Yeah, and that's part of it, and that's why I think that they may have to scratch.
Like so many players retired on him. He had that gimmick with like running sprints or whatever.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, I just think dudes is like, yo, bro, like I'm good.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's like, yeah, in New England we did that. I'm like, yeah, but this ain't New England.
Yeah. Oh, here's the thing. In New England, you can do that with 5 rings right there.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going to the playoffs every year.
Yes.
With always having a chance to win.
And also, how many vets took pay cuts to come there to get rings?
Uh-huh.
So so it's just something to say, and I just think that it really matters, and also one of the things I really like about New England is that quote John Madden, he said sometimes you have a linebacker, sometimes you have a football player. I want a football player.
Uh-huh.
And that's what New England has. And by the way, peace. Rest in power. Rest in peace.
Absolutely. Yo, we gonna end it on that, man. We gonna end it on that. But hey, thank you very much for coming through. Again, right, y'all follow me on Twitter at Big Moves Thomas. Make sure you like and subscribe to this right here. Again, it's your boy Big Moves Thomas with the special guest OG Thomas. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one, man. Peace.
Later.